For further analysis, we're joined from Cairo by the international relations expert, Dr. Mohammed Al-Tamawi. Dr. Mohammed, welcome to Qnews, and let me here start by asking, how do you view the Israeli cabinet's decision to approve the ceasefire agreement in Gaza?
My greetings to you and to your viewers. Of course, the decision comes after the moment the moment of incomplete ceasefire. This is a waiting moment for hostages and detainees, and the most important political and humanitarian file in Israel, which a support of all audience to any negotiations leading to hostages and detainees release. So Sharm el-Sheikh's agreement is viewed inside Israel as an opportunity to achieve this to this goal, which had a great support even with those who opposes any deals, including surrenders. So in regards to the cabinet's decision is appropriate to the Israeli streets, as the agreement is provided by some Israeli leaders as Benjamin Netanyahu. Of course, he is opposed by the finance ministry and IDF minister, also a defense minister, and also with the world condemnation to military operations, with what it entails of civil destruction that led to political isolation and helps in breaking the image and destroying the international Israeli image. So this is in order to reach an agreement that may provide a sense of stability in in Gaza's neighborhood regions, which gives a greater opportunity to the army to redeploy their forces and relieve the pressure for open fire, and also gives an opportunity for the troops to regain their power and re-qualify the soldiers' mental health after many of them fled of joining the army inside Israel.
Now, so what do you have towards Ben Gvir and Smotrich refusal to vote in favor of the ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip?
There's a stance and Smotrich's stance in regards to Sharm el-Sheikh's and the path of de-escalation in Gaza is an extreme, inevitable rejection, and reflects the far-right faction inside Israel. The rejection of ceasefire before eliminating completely Hamas. Both of the ministers expressed their rejection to this agreement, considering it as a surrender in front of Hamas and retreating from the war goals announced by Netanyahu from its beginning. They see any ceasefire before a complete elimination to Hamas is a betrayal of their soldiers' blood, as they imagine. But this is for Ben Gvir. But Smotrich sees that he expresses. He sees the agreement as a political agreement threatening Israeli security on the long term. So they tried to pressure Netanyahu inside the governing coalition and tried to threaten their withdrawal, but they came back after Kushner's and Witkoff's meeting, and they rejected it completely because they have extreme ideology that want to eliminate and use extreme power and they trying to invest their extreme stance to enhance their popularity with among the religious coalition, especially after the retreat of Netanyahu's stance. And they symbolize the real right, far right voice, and it's a kind of being ready to the next um, election, and they want to have a base, a line or a base of electors who are furious of what is going on. So it may lead to disseminate or dismantle the coalition. Ben Ghafir sees that the military forces present is the only guarantee for the war, and we can say that Ben Ghafir's and Smotr's stances were the obstacle, will remain the main obstacle to stabilize Sharm el-Sheikh's achievement, because they can turn the table against Netanyahu, or in case they move on in for implementing all the agreement.
But then the U.S. President Donald Trump, announced his visit to Egypt to attend the signing of the final agreement to end the war. So what does this really reveal? And from your point of view, doesn't this give an affirmed or affirm the U.S. position towards this agreement?
Of course. The main guarantee for U.S. For Gaza's agreement lies in Donald Trump, as he is the initiator and the engineer of its political and security details, and he is the one who adopted the agreement from its beginning and was keen on implementing it under his direct supervision. He's not a typical mediator or sponsor, but he is the most one keen on success, on making this agreement successful, because it will be registered immediately in his reign or history. So it's his real test for his imposing peace on in the region that was known with its complicity and interconnectivity of interests. So he is putting his diplomatic and political weight in order to achieve his plan. He is he tries to prove his the success of this plan makes him keen on following up the agreement step by step. But from the other side, the parties concerned in the agreement know that Trump will not allow the failure of his own plan, because it's an opportunity to enhance his leverage inside Middle East, and redrawing his leverages in the Middle East. So his guarantee is a deterring
Right.
to any party trying to avoid their compliance.
Right. Let me just take this breaking news, and we have some breaking news right now where, according to Axios, U.S. officials revealed that U.S. President Donald Trump plans to host a global summit on Gaza during his upcoming visit to Egypt next week. The high-level meeting is expected to bring together representatives from Germany, France, the United Kingdom, Italy, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Indonesia in a bid to consolidate international support for the Sharm el-Sheikh Peace Accord and coordinate post-war reconstruction efforts. Getting back to you, Mr. Tamawi, let me here take your comment on this breaking news right now. So again, let me take the breaking news right now, where according to Axios, U.S. officials revealed that U.S. President Donald Trump plans to host a global summit on Gaza during his upcoming visit to Egypt next week. The high-level meeting is expected to bring together representatives from Germany, France, the United Kingdom, Italy, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Indonesia in a bid to consolidate international support for the Sharm el-Sheikh peace accord and coordinate post-war reconstruction efforts. Right. Your comment, Mr. Tamawi, on this breaking news.
And in the framework of international guarantees for the second two phase will be more difficult. So the U.S. seeks from this for this meeting to enhance their insistence to complete the agreement between Hamas and Israel, because there will be some challenges may hinder this agreement. So their attendance physically will remove some of the challenges and will be a guarantee, safeguard for both parties to achieve all articles, because political understanding is more than a abiding legal commitment. So the U.S. is keen on doing this as being the sponsorship and the joint mediator between Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey, because they have the direct communication channels with all parties. So having supervision on ground makes the guarantees limited. So what Trump's want from this meeting is to relay a message for all relevant parties that the path of negotiations have to be completed, have to be a deterrence to all operations from both parties, from Hamas as he sees terroristic, and at the same time from Israeli side, who sees that has gone beyond in their terrific and audacious operations. So they're trying to keep the peace and the upcoming commitments he's looking forward. So what the U.S. president is doing is in the framework of his visit, in the framework of the invitation by Egypt's president. So it's a great appreciation to the Egyptians' pivotal role in the region, of confirming the role, Egypt's position in the international arena. This is a great realization.
But then, Mr. Tamawi, if I may ask you here, now, according to what you said, and according to reports, the divide inside the Israeli coalition government here, and you said respectively that it would or it might threaten the agreement. But on the other side, there is this decisive position from the U.S. Revealed by the U.S. President's announcement that he would come to Egypt. Not just he would come to Egypt, but also he will be hosting a global summit here in Egypt. So what does this reveal about the U.S.-Israeli positions towards the development, and what will that, or what we are supposed to be seeing at this upcoming stage?
It will be delusional if we think Israel, especially its leaders and far-right leaders, will easily approve to violate the biggest dream of Israel, which entails the biggest control of Palestine, which makes any concession of Israel is an highly unlikely project inside the cabinet. This refers to that the upcoming negotiation will not be easy, and that any attempt to impose solutions on them will be rejected and will face great resistance from far right Israeli leaders, which makes the balance between international pressure and Palestinian rights is crucial to safeguard any upcoming settlement. Therefore, we cannot deny that Trump, when he felt that this political victory with Hamas approval, we cannot forget that that Trump supports Israel. But when he says that we released our hostages, he speaks by the name of Israel as if he's talking about American citizen. He is seeing Israel as part of American territories, so we cannot avoid or look the other way to his historic stances and support to Israel. Meaning that any upcoming understanding and negotiations will be suspicious, will be suspected. So therefore, Hamas really read the stance and tried to provide a full report saying that they are not the obstacle to peace, and had a dynamic role and stance to save their people. Therefore, we cannot deny that the Israeli aspirations will be a sensitive theme, needs
And that is, yes, that is the question. That is the question. Now, there is an international will that is led by the US will to end such an aggression. And there is the Israeli dreams and aspirations for their dream. And would that put the international will at large at odds with the Israeli will? And what will that reveal, or what will that do?
Of course, I agree with you. Now we are witnessing a historic moment in the Arab-Israeli conflict. But there is an important point I have to highlight, because you're talking about international pressure on Israel. Cairo now succeeded in imposing their humanitarian and political view on the international negotiation table. And this is a point I have to highlight because it's pivotal in forcing the US president, because including the point or the article of Palestinian displacement among and this agreement after hearing Rivera, the Horn agreement, the Century agreement. This is an acknowledgement that Egypt has imposed its view on the in the international arena, because it faced one of the most important, one of the most dangerous plans to extract Palestinians from their land. So this, their dream will not be, they will not be blind in regards to it. But when Egypt says that displacement is a red line, and that they cannot violate international laws in regards to this matter, and the importance of keeping peace, because peace for Egypt and the main sponsor to this agreement is important to keep their to maintain their interest. Trump is trying to maintain his interests in the Middle East. An important point is that keeping the peace is way more difficult than involving in a war. So Cairo imposed humanitarian political pressure on all international parties, rejected any temporary solutions or unilateral arrangements. Egypt provided its whole view, including ceasefire, opening humanitarian corridors, aid delivery, access, and reconstruction within the framework, regional international framework that all parties have to comply with. This format that was proposed directly by Trump, Egypt, through which managed to deliver this proposal. Therefore, what is happening in this agreement, from not disallowing or stopping the displacement, means that Egypt has the sound voice, the power voice, maintaining its historic stances. And the Egyptians' leadership firm stances that put this Arab security.
Yes, Dr. Mohammed Tamawi, unfortunately our time is out, but yes, clearly what you're saying here, the sound of Egypt is clear, the sound of peace is clear, peace to prevail. This is what nations are aspiring for. That was Dr. Mohammed Tamawi from Cairo, the international relations expert. We thank you so much for joining us here on Qnews. And I guess that brings us to the end of our extensive special coverage for today, where we have covered all the developments taking place in the Middle East and globally after Gaza's ceasefire officially came into effect. Many thanks for watching, and please don't follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Qnews EGY to stay informed. Many thanks for watching, and good night.